Sri Lankan jerk chicken wings. Hi guys, it's Steve from the Fat Life Project. I'm back home now. For those who don't know, I am predominantly based in Sydney, and as a Sydney-sider, I feel that we're so lucky to live in a city and country that is this huge melting pot of cultures, which incidentally also means that we are absolutely spoilt when it comes to food. And today, I want to take you on a little food adventure as I seek and try out authentic Sri Lankan food for the very first time. And trust me guys, I cannot wait to show you everything we ate. As it is our very first Sri Lankan food experience, I wanted to make sure that we were eating at one of the very best restaurants in Sydney. Yes, I said our because we're in this together, okay? I turned to good old Google in my quest and typed in best Sri Lankan restaurant Sydney. This restaurant showed up on the very first page with a 4.6 stars rating. So yeah, we are going to be heading to Kandy by Sri Lankan Bites in Glebe for a little gastronomical adventure. Sri Lankan cuisine is one that is influenced by many cultures including Indian, Indonesian and even Dutch. Thanks to Sri Lanka being a hub on the Oceanic Silk Road, which used to be a trade network connecting China and the Far East with the Middle East and Europe. What does that look like? Well, let me show you everything we had. These Lankan-style jerk chicken wings are a perfect example of that multicultural influence. They were beautifully marinated. One of the elements you will immediately note with Sri Lankan dishes is that they don't hold back on the spice. These wings had a smoky taste with the tiniest kick of spice. To help with the spice, I highly recommend pairing these chicken wings and indeed the rest of the meal with some Lion Lager, which is the #1 beer in Sri Lanka. Speaking of spice, you need to try this next Sri Lankan staple. A Sri Lankan deviled curry is a dry curry where the meat is cooked with a little caramelization, then stir-fried with banana peppers, tomatoes, onions, and some spices. The meat is as a result drenched in a thick, flavorful sauce. I tried out the pork belly version of this, known as station chili pork on their menu, and I mean, just look at it. Snacks are known as short eats in Sri Lanka, and you commonly find the next to short eats at street side stalls. As an island with a tropical climate, fish is something you will find a lot in Sri Lankan cuisines. These fish patties, aka fish empanadas, are yet another example of how Sri Lankan food have taken on board different influences and developed dishes that are uniquely theirs. The empanadas comprise of a flaky buttery pastry filled with the savory fish potato filling that contains, amongst many other spices, cinnamon, which is yet another key ingredient in Sri Lankan dishes. These came out freshly fried and oh my god guys, it was so darn good. Speaking of so darn good, we also had these pan rolls which comprise of a similar fish potato filling, but this time the rolls had a thicker pancake wrapping. Like the fish patties, they were also deep fried but are definitely more filling. So if you're trying out this restaurant or any other Sri Lankan restaurant, I definitely recommend bringing a friend or two. You're gonna need it, especially for the mains. Did you know that rice and curry is widely considered the national Sri Lankan dish? Which means there's no better place to start our mains than this huge serving of curry and rice at Kandy's. I'm not kidding, it is honestly huge enough to feed at least 2 to 3 people, maybe even 4 if you plan to try some of the other dishes. You will traditionally expect some vegetable curries to go with your rice. This came with potato, pumpkin, and dal curries. And if you look close enough, there are several other elements in this dish that are authentically Sri Lankan. Coconut, for example, is a key ingredient used in many Sri Lankan dishes, and this dish contains pol sambal, coconut sambal. You'll already know from the entree section earlier that fish is a frequently added element to many Sri Lankan dishes, and this one has 2 huge deep-fried fishes in it. You'll also get an assortment of vegetables including cashews, brinjal aka eggplant, and some spicy green bean stir-fry, otherwise known as tempered beans or bonchi teldala. And just in case you didn't think this was enough, the dish also comes with some deep-fried half-boiled eggs and chicken wings. So yeah, you definitely want to bring some friends along to share this with. And trust me, you're gonna want to leave room because you cannot leave this or any other Sri Lankan restaurant until you've had this next dish. A hopper is basically a Sri Lankan pancake. It resembles a bowl thanks to the shape of the pan it is made in. You can get it plain or with a fried egg in it. There are a huge variety of ways you can have a hopper. You can, for example, pair it with some caramelized onion chutney known as sini sambal. Taste-wise, it is a combination of sweet and slightly spicy. Another delicious option would be to eat the hoppers with curries. We got some beef, chicken and dal curries as well as some coconut sambal to dip the hoppers in. We even got a soft shell crab to have with the hopper, which is one of their best sellers. Not hard to see why. But if you're already full from the curry and rice earlier, then perhaps consider having some dessert hoppers instead. We had this sweet milk hopper topped off with brown sugar and also this Nutella one. I especially recommend the sweet milk version. If this Sri Lankan gastronomical adventure has got you curious as to what other Sydney food spots are, in my opinion, worth checking out, click on the playlist at the very end of this video to find out. But also, if you found this video helpful, informative, entertaining in any way, and want to see more of me in your feed, I would really appreciate a like and subscribe, as it really helps my tiny little channel out. I upload every weekend, so I also recommend you turn on that bell notification so that you can start your weekend with me. As always, I hope you have a fantastic day ahead, and I'll see you soon in the next video.